Greetings, my name is Neosekken and welcome back to my Let's Play of Higurashi When They Cry Chapter 3. In the last episode, we started at Chapter 3 of Higurashi proper, and things, as usual, seemed to have started off of a bang. First off, a corpse was found in some town, and the wounds on the corpse remind me very much of the same sort of wounds that certain torture devices that we became familiar with in Chapter 2 would have been capable of inflicting. And number 2, well, we're playing as Keiichi again, and he's pretty much getting to the same hijinks with the rest of the club members that we've pretty much come to expect at this point. Specifically, in last episode's case, we found ourselves biting off more than we can chew, both figuratively and literally, when we found ourselves challenging Satoko and some of the other club members to a cook-off after one thing led to another. We went home that day on panicking about how we were going to prepare a meal that would pretty much blow the socks off of everybody in the club members because Keiichi can't cook a decent meal to save his life. So when we got home, he started to cook said meal and he almost burned the house down. But luckily, Satoko and Rika showed up just in the nick of time to help him put out the fire and, well, cook him a proper meal, while also forcing him to, well, admit defeat prematurely. Admit that he was biting off more than he can chew with the whole cook-off thing. And then after that, well, Rika, Satoko, and Keiichi had a nice, pleasant evening and dinner at his house, before seeing both Satoko and Rika off. Another interesting thing to note is we, right off the bat, learn about Satoshi, Satoko's older brother, straight from Rika, which is definitely different from the last two chapters, where we kind of learn, at least hear about him, or learn about him about halfway through the last two chapters. So, given the fact that we are finding that we've found a corpse of a murder victim, right off the bat, and with very interesting wounds, and the fact that we're talking about Satoshi right off the bat, I'm certainly very intrigued to see how Chapter 3 is going to play itself out. And I think that pretty much covers just about everything, except for, well, one tip we unlocked, where we basically learned about a whole bunch of traps that Satoko set in nearby mountains in elementary school, and, well, we got to see some of those in action when Satoko and Rika led the rest of the club members up said mountain, and, well, they all had their day ruined, let's just say. Okay, now I think that covers everything. Let's hit continue and see what today is going to bring us. Okay. Anyway, lunchtime has finally arrived. Mion gleefully announced the beginning of lunch. Lunchtime at last. Someone here will have to play the punishment game, yes? I vote myself. The punishment this time, it's a little scary, so... Sorry, but Reina went all out on making her bento. In Reina's case, I don't think she'd lose even if she wasn't taking it seriously.
Me.
And good morning, Rika. We tried our hardest too. Satoko and Rika-chan made separate lunches today. Usually you have the same bento, but that won't do for the showdown today, will it? Yes. It's quite alright. Rika and I made sure to make separate ones.
わあ、さとこちゃんもリカちゃんも頑張ったんだね。
Wow, Satoko-chan and Rika-chan both tried really hard.
楽しみ楽しみ。
How exciting!
ちょっと意外だったのは、ケイちゃんがちゃんとお弁当を用意できた点かな。
What's a little surprising is that Kei-chan was able to make a bento.
ケイちゃんもさすが。
Good job, Kei-chan.
やればできるみたいじゃない。
It looks like you really can do it if you try. If only you knew. I scratched my head and gave her a dry smile. My bento today had been made entirely by Satoko last night. It had none of my personality. And I'm pretty sure that's going to make itself readily apparent when, if not looking at the bento, getting a taste of it firsthand. So there wasn't anything there that they could praise me for.
ケイチ君のお弁当はどんなだろう。
What does Keiichi-kun's bento look like?
楽しみ。
Oh, I can't wait to see.
そんな大したものじゃないから期待するなよ。
Don't expect too much.
夕べのご飯のお惣菜の残りが詰めてあるだけだし。
It's just leftover rice and side dishes from last night.
お夕食の残り物はお弁当の基本なのですよ。
Leftovers are the foundation of bentos. That makes bentos sound so... What's the word I'm looking for? Not undignified, but, well, not great. Hey, I'm trying.
夕べのケイチさんのお夕食も分かって一石二鳥ですわね。
Now we'll know your dinner last night, too. We'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Was it really better to hide the fact that Satoko came over and made dinner last night? Well, of course it was. If I revealed I didn't make my own bento, I'd be sure to end up playing the punishment game. And if Satoko were an evil genius, and I have every reason to believe that she is, she would purposely make the bento that she made for you kinda sucky, so it would all but guarantee that you would end up in playing the punishment game. Today's punishment game was to stand right in front of the curry maniac Chi-sensei and say bad things about curry. It wasn't too different from telling someone to jump out of a 100-story window. It was exactly the same as telling someone to die. Well, if it's any consolation, Keiichi, if we end up dying again, like in chapters 1 and 2, at least this will probably be a quick and not so terrifying death compared to the last 2 chapters.
でもみーちゃん、
But Mi-chan,
今日のお弁当勝負ってどうやって勝敗をつけるのかな。
how will we decide who wins and loses the bento showdown?
ケイチ君もちゃんと作ってこれたんだから、今日はこれで引き分けで決着なんじゃないのかな。
Keiichi-kun made his own too, so maybe we should call it a draw for today?
それもそうですわね。
We could do that.
昨日の罰ゲームはケイチさんに自炊を促すための葉っぱみたいなものですし。
The punishment game yesterday was sort of a whip to encourage Keiichi-san to cook for himself after all.
ケイチもちゃんと作ってこれましたから引き分けなのですよ。
And Keiichi made his own too, so it's a draw. Someone tells me Mion is not going to go with the flow here and just have everybody present their bentos anyway. My simple bento with last night's leftovers could never have stood up to everyone else's bento that they made to win. I fully understood Satoko and Rika-chan's concern for me as they tried to end the showdown peaceably. However, the club president, Mion Sonozaki, would not be convinced by something like that.
何を甘っちょろいこと言ってるんだか。
I wonder why you're so optimistic.
白黒つけない灰色勝負なんて絶対ごめん。
Leaving one of our showdowns in such a gray area is out of the question.
ぶつかったら決着つけなきゃ。
Now that we've clashed, we must settle the score. Yep, Somebody pick up that phone because I called it.
手打ちして引き分けなんて遊びでやってんじゃないんだよ。
Although I guess it wasn't too difficult to guess, all things considered. Reconciling with a draw? Do you think we're just kidding around?
言うと思ったぜ。
I knew you'd say that.
勝負好きのミオンがこのまま終わらせるわけないよな。
There's no way you ended that way, with your battle lust. Better battle lust than bloodlust. This was bad. At this rate, I was sure to be the sole loser. But, well, I didn't make this bento after all. Maybe I need to resign myself to my inevitable loss. That would be the smart thing to do. But I know you're not going to do that.
ではミー、
Okay, me.
どうやって勝敗を決めますですか？
How are we going to decide who wins?
相互採点じゃ公平な採点にならないからね。
It won't be fair if we grade each other's.
ここは公開審査と行こうじゃない。
Let's do an open judgment.
みんな
Okay, everyone!
全員集合。
Assemble! Mion commanded everyone, who had just started eating, using her club president voice.
おじさんたち5人のお弁当を採点してもらうよ。
Come and judge our 5 bento.
ベスト3までを紙に書いて投票すること。
Write your favorite 3 on a piece of paper and submit it.
いいかな？
Understand? Everyone in the class was used to being dragged into Mion's club activities. Yeah! Came the energetic voices from here and there. Everyone already knew that the showdown this time involved an utterly fatal punishment game. And they were all very interested in what would happen to whoever lost. Of course, they wanted the thrill of seeing something terrifying.
では、みんないいかな？
Okay. Everyone ready?
まずは私から行くよ。
Then I'll go first, alright?
そーれ！
Ta-da! In exaggeration, Mion pulled the lid off her multi-tiered, ornate bento box. Multiple cheers of joy erupted at the brilliant sight.
すごいですわね。
That's amazing.
おせち料理みたいでしたよ。
It's just like New Year's food.
嘘だ。嘘に決まってる。
Can't be. It has to be a lie.
こんなのどこかの仕出し弁当の中身を移し替えただけに違いない。
She must have switched the contents with a cattered bento.
こんな純日本風な料理をミオンが
Such purely Japanese cooking.
ミオンが
Mion!
あの園崎ミオンが作れるわけがない。
Mion Sonozaki could possibly make this. Maybe it was her grandmother.
兄ちゃん、このくらいは本気になれば作れるよ。
Nope. This is easy for Mi-chan if she gets serious.
めったに本気にならないけど。
She almost never gets serious, though.
おじさんを誰だと思ってるわけ？
Just who do you think this old man is? The future matriarch of a dark legacy?
時間と材料があるなら満漢全席だって再現してみせるよ。
Given enough time and ingredients, I could even reproduce the Manchu Han Imperial Feast. The entire classroom gulped audibly, and everyone wrote down a score on the note paper in their hands simultaneously. It made sense. Just the visual impact would give her a perfect score. Yeah, well, you can prepare a dish to make it look as pretty as you want, but at the end of the day, what really matters is how does it taste.
じゃあ次はレナのお弁当行ってみようか。
Alright, let's see Reina's next.
レナもかなり料理は得意だからね。
Reina's really good at cooking too.
レナのお弁当はいつも食卓の花なのですよ。
Reina's bento is always like a flower arrangement.
みんなありがとね。
Thanks, everyone.
じゃあレナのお弁当も も公開するね。
I'll reveal my bento now.
えい。
Reina's bento was a beautiful mix of the two colors of eggs and minced meat. And it too was a bento staple. The Soboro bento. She had been thorough with the side dishes as well, and they were abundant in number. She had spent more time than usual on it, but it was unassuming and truly nonchalant. One couldn't ignore the household warmth in it that Mion's bento lacked.
さすがですわね。
If I may say, you've done it again.
これは高得点が期待できましたよ。
This should get quite a high score.
さすが。
I should have known.
厳しめに見ても減点の余地は全くないね。
It may look rigid, but there isn't anything to deduct points from.
相変わらず見事。
Amazing as always. Once again, every one of the judges wrote a score on their note paper at the same time. There seemed to be some who were revising their opinions when they compared it to Mion's score too. The whole classroom seemed split between Mion and Reina. And on everyone's face, it was clear that they all wanted to be tasting them rather than scoring them.
では、続いて僕たちなのです。
Then we'll be next. Yes!
では公開するでございますわよ。
I will now reveal mine. Come to think of it, Satoko and Rika-chan ate with me last night at my house. It was impressive that they still made a bento. Both their bentos were clearly lacking compared to Mion's artfulness and Reina's perfection. However, because of that, you could sense from them how hard they worked. That doesn't really make any sense to me. If anything, the opposite should be true. I almost had a Sean Connery accent just now. The toppings were a little on the rough side, but you could still feel that they tried their hardest. It made you feel a little biased, so you'd give them more points. A few people struck by just that once again, and why was I having trouble reading that just now? A few people struck by just that once again revised their opinions and wrote in scores on their note paper.
Satoko もリカちゃんも
Satoko, Rika-chan,
よく今日のお弁当を用意できたもんだな。
you both made really good bentos today.
レナやミオンの出来には確かに劣るかもしれないけど、それを考えるとかなりすごいことだぜ。
They might not measure up to Reina or Mion's craftsmanship, but when you think about that, they're pretty amazing. Satoko and Rika-chan glanced at each other and grinned happily.
実は内緒でございますのよ。
This is a secret, okay?
くにょくにょくにょくにょ。
Got it. What? When Satoko told me, I broke off from the others and secretly looked for my classmates' bento boxes. There, Tomota-kun and Okamura-kun's bento boxes. I took a quick peek inside and... Ah! Half the contents were missing! Not bad! In the end, Satoko and Rika-chan hadn't made bento today. A bold move. They got Tomota-kun and Okamura-kun to share their bentos with them. Well, God help them if they... Oh, wait a minute. Never mind, never mind.
おい、富田君、岡村君。
Hey, Tomota-kun, Okamura-kun.
何を条件に買収された？
How did they buy you out?
いきなり何ですか前原さん。
What are you saying, my Bara-san?
私たちがいつ何を買収されたって言うんですか。
When did we get bought out and for what?
そう
That's right.
別にさとこたちに水やり当番を代わってもらうくらいで弁当を半分なんか。
It's not like we traded them our duty watering the garden for half our bentos. I'd probably be more inclined to believe you if you told me that you gave them half your bentos if they would spare your lives. Curse you, Satoko. What an impudent trick! Satoko grinned, showing her fang-like canines, and laughed in triumph.
あら、これはケイチさんに学ばせてもらった技ですのよ。
Oh, this is only something I learned from you, Keiichi-san. I think you could go with a better role model, honestly.
なのです。
Yes. Oh, ho, ho. How naive. Buying them out with watering duty alone. They're men. If you're going to buy them out, you need to use something a lot spicier than that. For example, like giving them 3 tickets to walk Satoko and Rika-chan around like dogs all day, with them on all fours, wearing tails, and with leashes around their necks. Your mind scares me sometimes. Whoa, that might be enough to get me to do anything? As I was lost in my wild fantasies, Mion clapped me on the shoulder and called me back to reality. Damn, it was just getting good. I'm afraid to even ask how it was getting good. Alright. Next up is Kei-chan's bento. We're all hoping for something pretty great because of your declaration yesterday. But how did it really turn out?
ケイチ君ってやるときにはやる人だからね。
Keiichi-kun can do it if he needs to.
レナ、今日はとっても楽しみにしてたんだよ。
Reina was really excited for today. Today. I'm looking forward to it. But it's really just leftovers from dinner last night. I didn't even make it either. How's that supposed to stand up to me on Reina and the others? That's it! Feast your eyes on this! I tore the lid off my bento box. There weren't very many cheers. Did you sabotage it, Trapmaster? Well, I guess there wouldn't be.
ケイチ君も精一杯頑張ったんだね。
Keiichi-kun, you tried your hardest too.
レナはその頑張りわかるよ。
Reina can tell how hard you worked.
レナ、
Reina,
無理に褒めなくていいぞ。
don't feel like you need to compliment me.
どんな具合ですの？
How did this happen?
ケイチさんにしては頑張ってる方ですの？
Was Keiichi-san actually a hard worker after all? Well, I mean, I want to acknowledge how hard you tried, but... For this showdown, it doesn't matter. Could your laugh sound any more like a witch's? Neon's cold, mean laugh. It was like it spoke for everyone's opinion. Just like that.
ケイチ君、初挑戦なのにこんなに上手に作れたんだよ。
Keiichi-kun did really well considering it was his first challenge, you know?
みんなもっともっと評価してあげてもいいと思うんだけどな。
I think maybe everyone should rate his a little higher. Someone tells me that even if you could convince everyone to do that, it still won't save my stupid ass from the spicy death that awaits me.
でも、勝負は非常なのです。
But for the showdown, it doesn't matter.
さーてケイちゃん、
Alright, Kei-chan.
採点結果を集計する前に何か申し開きがあるなら聞いておくけど。
If you have any last words before we tally up the results, I'll listen to them now. Seashells, seashells by the seashore. Those are my last words. Write them on my fucking tombstone.
申し開きってなんだよ。
What do you mean by last words?
ケイちゃんがここで何かを訴えることでわずかな得点加算が望めるかもしれないってこと。
I mean that you might be hoping for a few extra points if you appeal somehow to the crowd.
何しろ今日の勝負はビリでさえなければいいんだから。
After all, for today's showdown, you just need to avoid coming in last.
うまくすればなんとか罰ゲームから逃れることができるかもよ。
If you do well enough, then maybe you'll be able to worm out of the punishment game.
それって兄、ケイイチさんのお弁当がビリって言ってるのと同じことでしてよ。
You are implying that Keiichi-san's bento is going to take last place, aren't you?
別におじさん、誰の弁当がビリなんて言ったつもりはないんだけどな。
No, this old man wasn't trying to say anyone's bento came in last or anything. Not directly. Mion cackled repulsively. In contrast, Satoko's smile was growing somehow awkward. Oh, right. This bento was filled with last night's side dishes. That means it was basically a bento that Satoko made. And Mion outright said it would come in last place.
みーちゃん、ちょっと意地悪だよ。
Mi-chan, aren't you being a little mean? Well, I was being a little mean yesterday too, so this is kind of karma.
ケイチくんがかわいそう。
Poor Keiichi-kun.
レーナ、
Reina.
ケイちゃんも今日の弁当勝負は負けられないってあらかじめ知ってたんだよ。
Kei-chan knew he couldn't lose today's bento showdown beforehand, didn't he?
それを承知で昨日あれだけの大見栄を切ったんだからさ。
He did all that grandstanding yesterday, well aware of that.
甘やかす必要なんて全然ないと思うけどな。
I don't think there's any reason to go easy on him, do you?
ねえ、さとこ。
Right, Satoko?
ええ、
Yes,
そうですわね。
you are right.
それでこのざまなんですから笑っちゃいましたよ。
And he came here with this mess. It makes me laugh.
ちょっとさとこちゃん、
Wait, Satoko-chan.
笑うなんていけないんだよ。
You can't laugh at him. Oh, yes, she can. You all can laugh at me. I'm a big boy. I can take people laughing and jeering at me.
だってちゃんちゃらおかしくて
Keiichi,
笑
though,
ってしまう
probably
ようなお
not.
弁当でしたよ。
But that bento is just so ridiculous I can't help but laugh.
こんなお惣菜屋さんで買ってきたようなおかず、本当に幻滅もいいところでしたよ。
These side dishes look like they were bought from a shop. It's really disillusioning. You're tearing up a bit, and not in a I'm about to laugh so hard kind of way. It's making me a bit concerned, Satoko.
ほら、これなんか缶詰を開けただけだよね。
Look, this one was just taken out of a can, wasn't it?
こっちのキュウリは包丁が通ってなくて綺麗に切れてないし。
This cucumber here isn't cut cleanly, like the knife didn't go all the way through.
ケイちゃん、包丁とか全然扱ったことないでしょ。
Kei-chan, you never used a knife, did you? Are you all going to try the goddamn fucking food or what?
経験不足が明らかなんだよね。
Your lack of experience is apparent.
経験不足もいいところでございましたよ。
No, this goes beyond a simple lack of experience.
彩りもかなり単調。
The presentation is fairly monotonous as well.
こればかりはセンスのなさに呆れるね。
It's almost a shock to see such a lack of taste. Now, Keiichi, do me a favor and give Satoko a hug later. She's probably going to need it.
そりゃ弁当箱に食い物を詰めるなんて初めての経験だし。
It was my first experience putting food into a bento box, so...
多少見栄えが悪いのは仕方が。
Of course it's not going to look too good.
ケイちゃん。
Keiichi-chan, Keiichi-chan.
弁当箱への詰め方以前のレベルなの。
There's a bigger problem than how you put it into the box.
富田、岡村。
Tomata, Okamura.
解説。
Explain, please. Tomata-kun and Okamura-kun were chosen from our many underclassmen. Is she aware of the theft or the trade? Tomata-kun quickly adjusted his glasses and took a step forward.
前原さんのお弁当に致命的な欠点。
The fatal flaw in Maibara-san's bento.
それは彩りなんです。
It's the coloration.
ご存知の通り、あらゆる色彩の根底には三原色と呼ばれる配色が存在します。
As you know, there are three primary colors forming the basis of all colors.
つまり、バランスよく配色を求めるなら、白、黒を除いても3色は必要なのです。
So if you want a well-balanced color scheme, then excluding white and black, you need those three colors. You're all superficial twats! Who cares about how the damn dish looks? Okay, maybe you should care a little, but nowhere near this much. Just try the goddamn food. It might surprise you.
しかるに。
And nevertheless...
前原さんのお弁当は白黒を除いた場合、暗緑色しか残らないんですよ。
If you remove the white and black from Maibara-san's bento, all that would be left is dark green. Dark green. No one will want to eat it if you describe it like that. Well, for all anybody knows, you could be describing some vegetables. I had forgotten. Tomata-kun and Okamura-kun have been bought out by Rika-chan and Satoko, so they were trying their hardest to let them win and make me lose, weren't they? What strong wills they have. I wouldn't call this a sign of a strong will, more like a sign of obedient lapdogs. It was charming if only because they were working so hard despite having been bought out.
おかずも心のこもらないお惣菜や缶詰ばかり。
The side dishes have no spirit in them either. They're all prepackaged or canned food.
つまり、前原さんのお弁当にはお弁当の三大要素。
In other words, out of the three necessary requirements for a bento...
愛、心、味のうち2つも欠けていると断言できるのです。
Love, spirit, and taste. We can assert that Maibara-san's bento is lacking 2 of these. Then we only have taste to rely on, huh? The classroom, convinced by the elucidation of the mystery they were thoroughly baffled with, raised mysterious groans of admiration.
愛もなければ心もない。
No heart and no spirit.
決まったね。
It's decided then?
前原圭一。
Keiichi Maibara. Try the goddamn food, you pigs.
ちょっと冷たいけど、でもこれを機に圭一くんもお料理の楽しさに気づいてくれればいいのかな。
This may sound cold, but if you realize how much fun cooking is because of all this, Keiichi-kun, isn't that enough? Enough?
そんなことより罰ゲームが僕以外なら何でもいいのですよ。
In any case, everything is fine as long as I'm not doing the punishment game. Reina was given a dry smile as well. Giving, excuse me.
決まりましたわね、圭一さん。
Oh, it's been settled, Keiichi-san.
罰ゲームは圭一さんで決まりですのよ。
You're going to be the one doing the punishment game. All without even so much as putting one taste bud in the bento box. Heathens. Hypocrites. Scoundrels, every one of you. She laughed in such a vile manner, but she didn't look like she meant it. I knew that Satoko was speaking ill of a bento that she practically made herself in front of the whole classroom, and I could tell how painful that laughter was. Okamaru-kun said that this bento lacked spirit, but among all the bento laid out here today, there wasn't a single one with as much spirit as this one. This meal that she made for me yesterday in such a good mood. It looked like she was in a bad one. I won't let it end with this slander. Well then. Last place, Keiichi-san. Please, admit you're honest defeat already. Could you wait just a moment? When I began to speak in a low voice, the expressions of all the members of the club changed. Mion clicked her tongue. This man was baring his fangs at the last moment again. My bento was defeated because it lacked spirit. That's how you explained it. Am I wrong, Okamura-kun? Okamura-kun, who had suddenly been placed in the spotlight, looked flustered for a moment, but immediately he stammered in reply that I was right. How do you measure spirit? By difficulty? By effort? By sweat or tears? By its manifestation? Then how would you rate these burns that are still on my hands? I don't see any burns, you liar. Wow. Keiichi-kun, those are oil burns? Great. The burn marks from when I almost caused a fire yesterday looked just like I was having a ton of trouble cooking. I could clearly tell that the classroom was forced to acknowledge the effort I put into it.
Oh.
I see. To turn your failures at cooking due to lack of skill into scars of hard work instead. Maybe you should reserve the judgment on the skill of the put into the dish itself after you tasted the damn thing. Don't you think? As I thought. I cannot falter around this man. That's... That's right. I lack skill. I'm so bad at cooking that my grandstanding yesterday was pitiful. But I didn't run away. Because you're an idiot. I fought! And I delivered these results. Is that not spirit? What do you think? Reina wants to acknowledge it. Nobody can keep on going if their defiant spirit doesn't get valued. The girls in the class started to nod in agreement. Okay, the tables are turning. But Tomata-kun and Okamura-kun, bought out by the optics of their unrequited affection, weren't about to lose either. They shifted to the counterattack, clearly exceeding the price they were paid. I see. I understand your feelings, Maebara-san. However, if spirit was all that mattered in cooking, the world wouldn't need chefs. That's right.
コックが消し炭みたいなハンバーグを持ってきたら、それにお金を払います？
If a chef brought you burned steak and said they put their spirit into it and tried hard, would you pay them? No.
払わないですよね。
You wouldn't, would you?
つまりそういうことなんです。
It's the same thing. Then why don't you try the goddamn dish? That's right. That's how it goes. The male students took Tomata and Okumura's sides. They did have a point.
でも心尽くしなんだぞ。
What about consideration?
たとえ真っ黒のハンバーグが出てきたにせよ。
Even if you did get a totally black steak.
それを作ってくれた母の苦労を知るなら、俺は食う。
If I knew how much the mother who made it struggled, I would eat it.
完食してみせる。
I would eat it all. This time, the female students in the class took my side. Good. Now we're even.
そもそもお弁当というのは愛情を食事の形として昇華させたもので。
Besides, a bento is a refinement of one's love given form. Yeah, well, not too long ago, we were talking about how leftover food is essentially the foundation of it. So, are you saying that the refinement of one's love given form is basically that person's leftovers?
それは相手に伝わって初めて意味があるんです。
It only means something when the other person feels that way.
前原さんのお弁当からはそれが伝わりますか？
Does your bento make us feel that way, Maibara-san? You tell me it's your fucking feelings we're talking about.
いいえ、僕には伝わりません。
No, it doesn't make me feel that way. Thank you.
ひどい。
You're mean! The girls in the class began to boo loudly at this remark. Now even Okamura-san was panicking.
静粛に静粛に。
Order!
傍観人は発言を慎むように。
Will the spectators please refrain from making remarks?
裁判長。
Your Honor!
俺はここでこの弁当にどれだけの心が込められているかについて料理学の権威竜宮レナ氏の証言を求めます。
In order to prove how much of my spirit has gone into this bento, I call Miss Ryuga Reina, an authority in the culinary arts, to the stand.
レナはこのお弁当には心がこもってると思うな。
Reina thinks this bento has spirit in it.
確かに稚拙なところは多いかもしれないけど。
It might be rather artless in places.
でもお料理は上辺だけじゃないと思うの。
But I think cooking isn't just about outward appearances. You get me! The girls in the class again gave cries of support as they all applauded. All the girls in this class get me! In response, all the men in the class began to boo. None of the men in this class get me.
裁判長！
Your Honor!
前原さんと竜宮さんの意見は極めて感情的で一般常識としてかけ離れています。
The opinions of Maibara-san and Ryuga-san are extremely sentimental and aren't falling with common sense.
採用するには不適切です。
They are unsuitable to use as evidence. This isn't a court of law, you twerp.
静粛に静粛に。
Order, even though we have a judge.
検察側の反証を認めます。
The prosecution's objection is sustained.
どうぞ。
Go ahead.
例えば本件をお弁当ではなく誕生日のプレゼントだと置き換えて考えてみます。
Let's replace the bento in question with a birthday present, for example.
例えば誕生日の日に私富田が手編みのセーターをもらったとする。
Let's say that on my birthday, I, Tomata, received a hand-knit sweater. You know, all this talking about the whole philosophy of food isn't going to make the food in my bento any fresher, you know. Time's a wasting.
そして彼、岡村は図書券を1万円分もらったとする。
And he, Okamura, received a bookstore gift certificate for 10,000 yen. That felt strangely real. Was it actually just an example?
常識的に考えて、どちらに心がこもっているかは明白です。
Common sense dictates which of them has the spirit.
つまり、手編みのセーター。
It is, of course, the hand-knitted sweater.
これはお弁当に言い換えれば、手作りのおかずが相当する。
If we went back to the bento, this would be handmade side dishes.
そして、単なる金券に過ぎない図書券は、お金で買うもの。すなわち、無味簡素な缶詰に相当する。
And the gift certificate, which is nothing more than money, allows you to buy things. In other words, it's the same as simple, meaningless canned goods. Murmur, 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 murmur. The boys and girls all began to argue amongst themselves about presents. They were all talking about what they received as presents in the past. Damn. Tomato-kun. He changed the subject to something that could easily grab everyone's attention. Not bad. That is merely a deflection. I'll lose the initiative at this rate. Objection!
本件はお弁当の心について問うものです。
This matter regards the spirit put into the bento.
誕生日のプレゼントという特殊な状況とは全く異なります。
It is entirely different from birthday presents, as they are each unique situations.
却下します。
Overruled. Fuck you, Judge!
検察側、続けなさい。
Will the prosecution please continue? Damn!
さて、
Do I have to slam on my desk ace attorney style in order to help get my point across? Now then.
ここで大事なのは、送り手の心と受け手の心は全く違うという点です。
What's important here is the fact that the spirit of the giver and the spirit of the receiver are totally different. What, you're saying I can't gift my...
皆さんの目の前に実際に手作りのちょっと左右の竹の崩れてるセーターと1万円分の図書券が置かれていて、どっちがいいと聞かれたら、どっちを取ります？
Anyway, screw you, Okamura. I will give myself gifts whenever I damn well please, despite your philosophical objections. Between the handmade sweater that looks a little bit askew, and the 10,000 yen bookstore gift certificate placed here before your very eyes, which would you say is the better choice? I would say the gift certificate, because then I could get a sweater, if the said bookstore happens to carry anything like that, and get myself some reading material of my own choice. The gift certificate, right?
1万円ですよ、1万円。
It's 10,000 yen. 10,000.
コミックスが何冊買えるか計算できますか？
Can you calculate how many comic books you could buy with that?
十数巻程度の単行本なら即座にフルコンプ可能です。
You could instantly complete a full collection if it was around 10 volumes long.
愉快で面白おかしい漫画が何十冊。
Dozens of happy, humorous manga.
これによって癒される心の至福とセーターでは比べ物にならないのです。
The bliss of your soothed heart can't be compared to the sweater. The boys unanimously praised that with applause. Materialistic brats. But all guys at that age are like that. Even I would choose a gift certificate over the sweater in that case. Hey, wait, aren't you guys the one who said it was about love, spirit, and taste right at the start? Yep. Since when did taste trump all? That's the stance they were taking now.
以上より送り手の心と受け手の心には 何の因果関係もないことが立証されたと思います。
I believe this has demonstrated that the spirit of the giver and the spirit of the receiver have no causal relationship. I was having trouble reading that. Yes!
前原さんがどれだけ苦労してお弁当を作ろうとも
No matter how much Maibara-san struggled to make this bento,
それは私たち受け手が最低に手心を加えるものにはなり得ないのです。
that cannot enter into consideration for the rest of us on the receiving end. Then you all need to revise your scores for everyone else's bentos. Then, if we're no longer going to consider effort put into it as a meaningful metric to consider here, I want to recount.
それは詭弁だぞ、富田君。
Mere sophistry, Tomata-kun.
心は確かにある。
It has plenty of spirit.
それが伝わるかどうかは受け手の問題だ。
Whether that gets through or not is the receiver's problem. Excuse me. That's right. Taste is most important. Finally, something all the boys said that I can agree with. Enemy of women! Where did that come from? What was that? Now the courtroom is in chaos. But I can't allow myself to lose. Not only to avoid the punishment game, but also to protect Satoko's honor.
さて、
Now then,
弁護側は今のに何か反論はある？
do the defendants have a response to give? I already been given my responses. Slowly and strongly, I nod and step up to the dais. Tomata-kun, Okamura-kun, do you two really think you can beat me with mere words?
Now, 検察側は送り手の心とは無関係に評価が行われると言いました。
The prosecution just said that we should value the gift without basing it on the spirit of the giver.
それに間違いはありませんね。
Correct? At some point, I began speaking formally.
そうです。
Yes, that's right.
前原さんがどんなに苦労して作ったお弁当でも、その苦労は評価の対象にはなり得ない。
No matter how much you labored to make that bento, that labor should not factor into our grading. Then once again, I stress that you all do a recount of your grades from everyone else's bentos, because that metric was used to help grade theirs. And if we're trying to be fair about all this, well, recount, please.
では検察側に尋ねます。
Then I have a question for the prosecution.
私前原が今日の自分の弁当としてこのお弁当とコンビニ弁当を並べたら
If I, Maibara, were to take the bento I made for today and placed it beside one bought from the store,
その評価はどちらも同じものなのですか？
would both of these be given the same score? The prosecution hesitated to speak. Got you.
そう。
That's right.
手作りの弁当とコンビニ弁当では全く比較にならないのです。
A convenience store bento doesn't even come close to a homemade one.
どんなにひどい手作り弁当であってもただ買ってきただけのコンビニ弁当とでは比べ物にならないほどの心が込められている。
No matter how badly made it is, it has far more spirit than a bento that you just bought would ever have.
そしてそれは評価されている。つまり手作りによる心はちゃんと受け手に伝わってるのです。
You see, that spirit is being graded, meaning the spirit the cook put into bento has already reached the recipients.
それを認めよう。
Admit it! Boom! With those impactful words drawn in the air behind me, I pointed my finger. The girls, led by Reina, broke into applause. Some of the boys were admitting it too.
認めます。
I'll admit it.
認めましたね。
You admitted it.
認めましたね。
You admitted it, right?
では次にコンビニ弁当にはなぜ心がないかについて移りましょう。
Now let's move to why convenience store bento has no spirit in it.
そもそも弁当で伝える心とは何なのか。
What exactly is the spirit in a bento in the first place?
意義あり。
Objection!
前原さんは抽象表現で法廷を煙に巻こうとしています。
Maibara-san is trying to deceive the court by using abstract expressions. Just like what you were doing a minute ago?
却下します。
Objection overruled. Thank you, Judge.
面白そうだから最後まで聞くように。
This sounds interesting, so listen until he's done. Got them. Now I'll show you the difference between us.
裁判長、
Your Honor.
ここでフルで理科賞証人として喚問したいと思います。
I'd like to call Miss Rika Ferruti to the stand as a witness.
みー。
Even for Rika-chan, that must have seemed like a bolt from the blue. There's no doubt that she never dreamed the point of my spear would be aiming at her. But Rika-chan, you said it before. For this showdown, it doesn't matter.
フルで理科さん、
Rika Ferruti-san,
あなたの今日のお弁当は実によくできていますね。
your bento today was very well made.
美味しそうです。
It looks delicious.
みえ。
Yes. Satoko and Rika-chan's bentos have been made of half of Tomata-kun's and Okamura-kun's. The prosecutor's faces turned pale. But they were too late.
レナ、
Reina,
岡村くんの弁当箱を持ってきてくれないか。
would you bring Okamura-kun's bento box over here?
うん？
Huh?
いいよ。
Okay, sure.
裁判長、
Your Honor!
本件に僕のお弁当は何の関係もありません。
My bento has no relevance to this case. Objection! It has everything to do with this case. That was such a weak slap. I'm ashamed of myself. Overruled.
裁判長、この岡村くんの弁当箱を証拠品として提出します。
Your Honor, I submit Okamura-kun's bento box as evidence.
見よ、
Look at it!
この中身を。
Look at what's inside!
ん？半分しか入っていないね。
There's only half in there.
半分かどうかじゃないでしょう。もっとよく見てください。
It's not about whether there's half. Please, look a little more closely.
ほら、
See?
全く同じ内容だ。
Huh? They're exactly the same!
裁判長、見ての通りです。
Your Honor, you've seen it.
フルで理科氏のお弁当は岡村くんの盗品。
Miss Rika Ferrute's bento was stolen from Okamura-kun's.
そんなものに心がこもってるわけがない。
There is no way such a thing could have spirit in it.
いや、これは単なる偶然で。
No, but that's just a coincidence. A likely story.
もう明白でしょう。心とは送り手と受け手のキャッチボール。
It's already obvious. Spirit. It's a game of catch between the giver and the receiver.
ならば弁当箱はボールに当たるのです。
The bento box, then, is the ball.
そして本来このお弁当は彼、岡村くんの母親から息子に託されたもの。
That bento was something Okamura-kun was given. From mother to son.
だからこの弁当箱に詰まった心は彼、岡村くんにしか受けられない。
That means Okamura-kun is the only one who can feel the spirit from this bento box.
それを割り込んで奪ったら、もうそれに心はないのです。
Now that it's been disturbed and been stolen, it no longer has that spirit. Dun dun dun! Yay! I did it! Huh?
ほ
What?
そうなの？
Is that true?
リカちゃん、そうなの？
Rika-chan, is that true?
みー。
Corruption exposed!
ニパー。
なるほどね。
I see how it is. Mion, the judge, folded her arms and began to hum. I couldn't even take a guess. This is what Mion was laughing about. Frankly, I didn't know whether I would win or lose. If I lose after all of this, then this would be an epic misfire of justice. And I would declare that this court is run by kangaroos.
よし。
Okay.
判決の前に主文からにしようかね。
Before announcing my judgment, I'll start from the top. Shh. The entire classroom quieted. You know, an hour has pretty much passed. Well, technically 57 minutes since I hit the continue button proper. Lunch period is almost over, people.
まず、
And I'm sure most of you haven't even had your lunch yet. You're all gonna go back to class hungry. First,
被告前原圭一の弁当が客観的評価として非常に出来の悪いものであるのは間違いない。
from an objective standpoint, there is no doubt that the bento of the accused, Keiichi Maebara, must be seen as poorly made. Your head is poorly made.
それはこうしてみんなの採点の集計結果が物語ってるからね。
This is something that the grading results clearly display.
でも、ケイちゃんの言う通り、料理は味だけじゃない。
But as Kei-chan said, cooking is not all about taste.
心もまた隠し味として認められるべきだよね。
The spirit put into it should be considered subtle seasoning.
でもそれは、得点評価で言えば小数点以下。
For grading, though, that would only amount to a few points.
本当に微細なもので、その出来具合の評価を改めるには至らない。
It's so subtle that it's not enough to alter the results.
さて、
Now then,
ここでそもそもの今日の弁当勝負の原点を探りたい。
I'd like to mention the original reason for today's bento showdown.
そもそも、今日の勝負は何が大前提なのか。
What was the reason for it?
そう。
That's right.
被告、前原圭一が自炊できるか否かが問題になり、
We
その成
started
果を測るために催されたものだった。
We started to see whether the accused, Keiichi Maebara, could cook for himself and measure the result. Yeah,
そうだよ。
that's right.
ケイチ君はちゃんと作ってきたよ。
Keiichi-kun did make his own bento. Ugh, that stung my conscience a bit. But for the showdown, it doesn't matter.
ならば、この勝負の大前提は自炊。
So the whole basis behind this showdown was to cook a meal for yourself.
すなわち手作りであるか否かだよね。
In other words, whether or not the meal was homemade.
でもリカちゃんはそれを怠ったとなると、それは出来以前の問題。
Rika-chan neglecting to do that is a much bigger problem than how good her bento is.
すなわち失格ってことになるのかな。
In other words, is she disqualified?
ニパ
Rika-chan let out a nipa, looking as though she had prepared herself for this outcome.
悪く思うなよ、リカちゃん。
Don't take it personally, Rika-chan.
部活は非常なのだ。
At our club, things like that don't matter.
ー。さすがケイチなのです。
Keiichi did well, like I thought.
最後の最後まで頑張りましたですよ。
You tried your hardest until the very end. Rika-chan demanded I lower my head. Then she pet it.
というわけで、これにて一件落着。
With that over, this case is closed.
今日のビリはフルでリカ。
Today, last place goes to Rika for rude! Looks like you're not getting your wish this time, Rika. You're doing the penalty game. Everything is not alright with the world. Also, I wanted to be on the receiving end of this punishment game. I wanted to see Keiichi suffer curry maniac death. Give him death! That miraculous turnaround. And last place went to Rika-chan, the one everyone had least expected. The whole classroom went wild.
よくもこんなひどいお弁当でビリを免れましたのね。
I'm amazed you managed to avoid coming in last place with such a terrible bento. Satoko looked at me hatefully, but spoke in a vague kind of voice.
ビリになんかなるわけないだろ。
There's no way I'd come in last.
この弁当のどこにビリになる要素があるってんだ。
There's nothing in this bento that would deserve last place.
だって
But
こんな出来の悪いお惣菜や缶詰ばかりでセンスもなくて、それから
poorly made side dishes and canned goods. It has no style. And grab! Satoko was speaking more and more poorly of herself as time went on. So I roughly grabbed her head and began to stroke it.
言ったろ。
I told you.
心が大事だって。
Spirit is important.
この弁当は上辺だけじゃない。いろんな味に溢れてるんだぜ。
This bento isn't all about appearance. It's got all kinds of flavors in it.
でも心だけじゃありませんのよ。
But spirit isn't the only thing.
お味なんて全然変で。
It tastes totally weird and...
どこが変なんだ。
What about it is weird? I thought it was great.
うまかった。
It was absolutely great.
だから詰めてきた。
That's why I packed it.
本当に夕べの飯がまずかったら詰めてなんか来ないぞ。
If dinner last night had been bad, then I never would have brought it to school.
食パンと牛乳パックを持って登校してくる。
I would have come here with some bread and a milk carton.
でも
But... Oh, just shut up already. I caressed her head, swinging it from side to side. At some point, Ran had come up behind us. She was giggling to herself. That was the face of someone who had known everything from the beginning. Well, as we learned from the last chapter, Rena can be surprisingly perceptive.
いつ頃から俺が作ったんじゃないって気づいてた。
When did you realize I hadn't made it?
ケイチくんがやけどを見せてくれた時かな。
When you showed us your burns, I guess?
だってケイチくんのお弁当に油で炒めるおかずなんか入ってないし。
I mean, there's nothing in your bento that you needed oil for. No, but I could have very well tried making something else at first, but then, once that first attempt failed, settled with another recipe instead, and therefore...
レナさんは何か誤解してるではございませんの？
Reina-san, don't you think you're misunderstanding something?
私は別に何も。
I didn't do anything.
あれ？
Huh?
このお弁当、さとこちゃんが作ったんじゃないんだ。
Satoko-chan, you weren't the one who made this bento?
じゃあやっぱりケイチくんの手作りなのかな？
Then did Keiichi-kun make it by himself after all? Okay.
じゃあケイチくんの手作りなんだね。
Then I guess he did. Reina smiled ruggishly and turned from Satoko to me.
キュウリとかを切るときは包丁をほらこんな感じで引くの。
When you cut cucumbers, you hold the knife like this and go like this.
彩りなんかはね、お野菜を上手に加えるといろいろ表現ができるんだよ。
As for the colors, you can express all sorts of things if you place vegetables in the right way. This lecture was clearly not meant for me.
でも前に見せてもらった時よりもずっと上達してたよ。
But you've gotten a lot better since the last time you showed us.
ちゃんとお勉強してるんだね。
I see you've been studying.
きっとこの調子ならもっともっと上手にお料理が作れるようになるよ。
If you keep this up, I bet you'll be able to make better and better dishes in no time. She continued saying words clearly meant for Satoko, while facing me instead. Satoko was wearing an ambiguous look, and couldn't even nod her head at her.
とにかく誰が何と言おうと
Anyway, no matter what anyone says,
俺は今日の弁当を気に入ってるんだ
I like the way my bento is today.
今日ばかりは誰にも分けないからな
I'm not gonna share with anyone else either.
俺が一人で全部食う
I'll eat the whole thing by myself.
あ、ケチなんだ。
Wow, how greedy.
レナも食べてみたいな、みたいな。
Reina wants to try some too. As we were going back and forth, Satoko rubbed her eyes as though she was drowsy. Then announced to Mion and everyone else.
私も実は
Excuse me. The truth is,
富田さんにお弁当を分けてもらいましたの。
I got Tomata-san to give me some of his bento.
バカ
Stupid.
北条なんて言っちゃうんだよ
Hojo, what are you saying? If she kept it a secret, then at least she would have been saved. Tomata-kun looked at her with an expression filled with regret and surprise. Huh?
そうだったの？
Is that true?
本当？
Really?
ありゃ。
Oh my. Mion spun her finger around, then pointed to the hallway, sentencing Satoko to the punishment game as well. Satoko left the classroom behind her, completely prepared, as though she was going with Rika-chan on an errand.
リカだけに行かせられませんわ。
I can't let Rika go alone. That's very sweet of you, Satoko, but we don't need two bodies now.
地獄の底までお付き合いしましてよ。
I will accompany her to the very depths of hell.
そんなとこまでついてこなくていいのですよ。
You don't need to go that far.
まったく、ケイイチさんも闇ですわね。
My word. Keiichi-san, it really is terrible too.
リカだけを晒し者にするなんて本当に意地悪な人でございますこと。
Humiliating only Rika like that. He is truly a rotten person. I didn't mean... I couldn't just return Satoko's kindness with malice.
ね、
Hey?
本当にサトコはおバカさんなのですよ。
Satoko really is silly. Rika-chan spoke so that only I could hear, grinning happily.
では、
Now then,
そろそろ行きましてよ、リカ。
let's be off, Rika.
罰ゲームも部活メンバーの務めでございますわ。
Punishment games are one of our duties as club members. Satoko seemed awfully happy, not frustrated in the slightest, like she always was when she lost. Damn. Rika-chan's right after all. Everyone here is a moron! Well, I'm glad we're all in agreement on
俺
something.
も白状するぞ
We're all a happy, moronic family. Mion! I'll come clean too!
今日の弁当は俺が作ったんじゃない
I didn't make my bento today.
俺も同じだ
I was the same!
だから行ってくるぞ
So I'm going with them.
罰ゲーム
For the punishment game!
え？
Huh?
ケイちゃんまで？
Even you, Kei-chan?
どうなってんの？
What's going on? What's going on is that this whole activity was a farce.
頑張ってね。
Good luck. I don't need luck. I need salvation.
罰ゲーム。
With the punishment game, I mean.
救急箱を用意して待ってるからね。
I'll get the first aid kit ready. Is there any salvation in that first aid kit?
あらかじめ救急車の手配を頼む
Call an ambulance in advance, will you? Will the ambulance bring salvation?
場合によっては霊柩車だな
And maybe a hearse, just in case. Leaving a bewildered Mion and a happy smiling Reina behind in the classroom, I went into the hallway. What are you doing? You finally won for once. I had no idea you had such an odd taste for these punishment games that you'd go so far as to volunteer yourself for one. Guess so. It's a little much for a hobby, eh? I swear. I think you're underestimating this one. We're one thing, but grave harm might actually befall you, Keiichi-san. I hope you're ready to have 1 or 2 ribs broken. Sounds like it would hurt. I don't like getting hurt. If she breaks my ribs, I will call the authorities for assault on a student. Keiichi-san, you just stand there and nod along, okay? Rika and I will smooth it over. Somehow I have a feeling that good old Keiichi here is going to do the exact opposite of what you suggested. In order to bring all of Chi-sensei's ire towards him and away from you two. I swear. I mean, I'd do the same thing too if I was in his position. I can't believe I have to look after you even during a punishment game. Seriously! I already knew that her pouty behavior was a sign that she was actually in a really good mood. So it made me want to smile. Hey. I do want to eat some vegetable stir-fry. Satoko, can you make that?
Huh?
What? Well, there's nothing I can't do if I put my mind to it. She can make it very well. I really like Satoko's stir-fry. She was uneasy at first, but once she got reassurance from Rika-chan, she turned back and looked at me with more confident eyes. It's settled then. Let's go shopping for stuff after school today. I don't really have any idea what to buy after all. That's true, isn't it? I think it's still too early for you to go shopping at the supermarket, Keiichi-san. It would make me anxious if I wasn't watching. And Satoko makes me anxious that she'll buy the wrong thing if I'm not watching. Rika! The conversation continued as we walked, until we arrived before the door to the teacher's lounge. Hold on to your butts. Okay. Let's get this punishment game over with, and discuss the menu for tonight. Rika-chan gleefully grabbed onto my arm. In turn, I pulled Satoko to me, grabbing her shoulder with my other hand. We'll all be together in death. I won't let anyone die alone. We're all together. I won't let anybody die alone. What an indiscreet thing to say. And why did that Rika's remark fill me with a tiny sense of dread? I don't understand. I want no part in something so disturbing. She may have sounded annoyed, but she was so happy it was going to make me blush.
よし。
Alright.
この扉、一枚向こうは死後の世界だぞ。
Just beyond this door is the world after death.
みんなで戻るぞ。
However, we shall return.
みんなでだ。
All of us will. Yes,
みんなでですわよ。
everyone will.
では行きますわよ。
Then, let's sally forth. Slam! We open the doorway to the world of death. Death looks a bit cluttered. The world of death, I mean. Somebody should tidy up in here a little. And I think I know whose dish on the desk that it belongs to. And like she did every day, just as the sun rose in the eastern sky, Chi-sensei was eating curry for lunch. It was store-bought, but she made a point of eating a different brand every day.
あら
Oh my.
前原君に古出さんに北条さん
And Barakun, Fruud-san, and Hoju-san.
どうかしましたか
Is something the matter? She appeared to be in the middle of a moment of supreme bliss, her mouth full of her beloved curry. This is going to make things even worse, now that she has curry fresh on her taste buds. And we were to pick a fight with her. What a crime this punishment game would be! However, it was what we had to do. For that was the rule of our club. The three of us held each other's shoulders tightly once more.
じゃあ行くぜ。
Alright, let's do this.
いいか。
Ready?
いいかじゃありませんわ。
What do you mean ready?
ケイイチさんはおとなしくしてるんですのよ。
Keiichi-san, you're going to stay quiet. No, he's not. He's going to do exactly what I'm predicted he's going to do.
すべて私とリカでやりますから。
Rika and I will handle everything.
私に今だけ命をお預け遊ばせ。
Entrust your life to me for now.
ファイト、おーですよ。
Go for it. Yay. Thank you for your support, Rika. At least one of you is giving it to me right now.
あなたたち
What are you all doing? We could see 2 or 3 question marks popping up above the teacher's head. Alright, Satoko. This is the only time I'll trust you with my life. Because I'll be shutting my eyes tightly and only thinking about what we'll be having for dinner. I'm leaving it to you! You're gonna let her do it, okay, huh? I'm disappointed. You should be their human shield. Satoko inhaled deeply. And so...
やーいやーい。カレー独身貴族、ニンニク臭いぞ。
Hey, you over there! You stuck-up curry snob! You're single because you smell like garlic! This is a bit much. I would have thought just attacking her taste in curry would have been enough. This seems... a bit much. Also, you got a problem with garlic. Garlic smells just fine. That's it! We don't get any insane we don't get any insane monologues or anything before the inevitable. It's just quick and precise. Well, it's efficient if nothing else, I suppose. But what a letdown. In the end, my selfish request was readily granted. As Satoko muttered complaints under her breath, quite merrily, she came with me to the store. Rika-chan didn't come with us. She said that she had a thing she wanted to do, or something. I believed her when she told me, but when I really thought about it, I started to think maybe she was being considerate towards Satoko in her own way. Without Rika-chan here, Satoko was prouder and more loquacious than ever.
いいですこと?
Do you understand?
スーパーというものにはタイムサービスというものがあるんですのよ。
Supermarkets will put things on sale when it gets near closing time.
例えば野菜炒めに欠かせない豚肉ももう少し待つと半額にまで下がるんですの。
For example, you can't have a stir fry without some pork. And if we wait a little longer, it'll be marked half off.
お肉やお魚は鮮度が下がったら売れませんからね。
They can't sell meat or fish once it's not fresh anymore. Smart shopping. I like that.
お店も売れ残さないように土壇場では安くしてくれるってわけなんですねよ。
So they make it all cheaper in a last-ditch effort not to have anything left over.
もちろん百戦錬磨の主婦の皆様もそれを熟知していて、こうしてサービスタイムが近づいてくると。
Of course, every veteran housewife is familiar with this concept. And when we get close to happy hour like we are now... And I wasn't really listening to her, but she was telling me all this quite proudly. Every time I seemed surprised at something, or made an affirmative grunt in a place of conversation, Satoko would say, "You don't know anything, do you, Keiichi-san?" And smile very happily in spite of her complaints. She led me by the hand to all sorts of stalls, one after the other. She was in such a supreme mood that just being with her cheered me up. Merely being pulled into Satoko's pace was a lot of fun.
おい、どうせならこっちのお得用パックにしようぜ。
Hey, why don't we just go with this economy size pack?
お、こっちのチーズ入りにもかなり惹かれるものが。
Oh, there's a real good-looking one with cheese in it over there.
ケイイチさんは経済観念が欠落しすぎですわ。
Keiichi-san, you have no financial sense.
ご覧なさいませ。
Look at this.
予算オーバー。
It's over our budget.
お金が足りないのですわよ。
We don't have enough money. Satoko pushed a handful of receipts in my face. Why can't Satoko do these kind of mental calculations when she's at school?
くそー。
Drat.
ノーマルは腹いっぱいたくさん買うか、ワンランク上のチーズ入りをつつましく買うか。
Should we buy a load of the normal ones or buy fewer of the better stuff with the cheese in it?
これはかなり悩む。
This is quite troubling. If your goal is to stuff is to get as much into your stomachs as possible, you should just buy a load of the normal ones.
おとなしく量を取りなさいませ。
Calm down.
年頃の男の方は質より量を取った方が賢明でしたよ。
For boys at your age, it's wiser to choose quantity over quality. Not necessarily.
チェ、サトコは厳
I
しすぎだ
mean,
よ。
both are important, but not too much in quantity. I don't think there really is such a thing as too much quality. Yeah, Satoko, you're being too strict.
質も量も両方取りたい。この男心がなぜわからん。
A man's heart desires both quality and quantity. Why can't you understand that?
男心でお財布は膨らみませんのよ。
No matter the size of a man's heart, his wallet won't be any bigger.
まったく。
I swear.
未練がましくガラスに張り付かないんですの。
Hey, stop clinging to the glass so stubbornly. After enjoying ourselves in such an exchange, we started to hear energetic voices coming from over by the butcher we visited earlier. I could see a handful of housewives flooding the place.
いけませんわ。
Oh no!
早く行かないと半額豚肉がなくなってしまいますわ。
If we don't hurry, all the half-off pork will be gone.
あいてててててて。
Ow, ow!
引っ張るな。
Don't pull me!
襟首を引っ張るな。
Don't pull on my neck! Satoko really seemed like she was having fun. She looked like a kid who had grabbed her family's hands while running toward an amusement park attraction. In the end, the bag of pork we obtained was so normal that it almost hurt, but I knew that it would taste absolutely delicious. The cicadas had come out at some point, and Higurashi were singing in chorus. The air was so clear, and it felt so good. Our silhouettes stretching out on the ground made for a really wonderful picture. We had filled our bicycle baskets to the brim with our shopping bags. They only contained ingredients and various other foodstuffs. Even so, every last thing packed in them sort of looked really happy. It made me feel really happy in turn.
夕食の買い物ってのもおつなものだな。
Going shopping for dinner seems pretty sensible too.
晩飯が楽しみになるっていうか、待ち遠しくなるっていうか。
Makes you really enjoy your meals. I can't wait to eat.
それもまた自炊の楽しみでしたよ。
That's a part of cooking for yourself as well.
お買い物のうちからもう夕食は始まっているんですもの。
Dinner starts while you're shopping for it.
野菜炒め楽しみだな。
I'm so excited for this.
うちのお袋のメニューにはさ、野菜炒めってないんだよ。
Vegetable stir fry isn't even in my mom's cookbook.
だから中華屋で外食するときくらいにしか食べられないんで、今日は本当に楽しみなんだよ。
I never get to eat it unless we go out to a Chinese place. So I'm really looking forward to it today.
それはお気の毒でございますこと。
As indeed a pity.
では今日は特別に美味しいのをご披露して差し上げましたよ。
And today I'll present you an especially tasty dish. Normally, right about now was the time I would start messing with her. But I didn't.
ああ、
Yeah,
さとこならきっとうまい野菜炒めを作ってくれる。
I bet you'll end up making something really great.
すごく楽しみだよ。
I'm really looking forward to it. She stammered for a second. Satoko had been prepared for me to start making fun of her right then, too. And when it didn't come, she was surprised. Or maybe she stammered for some other reason, I don't know. But I immediately knew she wasn't feeling anything bad. Yes!
とびきり美味しいのをご馳走しましたよ。
I'll deliver an extraordinarily delectable dish.
楽しみにして遊ばせ。
You better look forward to it. As Satoko and I rode back on our bikes, I had a thought. Was I this sort of person? Until now, I would have lashed back at Satoko right away if she did something to me. Yeah, that was the kind of relationship we had. We would poke at each other a little, then kick up a storm while nitpicking at one another. At some point, that had changed. We weren't playing our usual tit-for-tat. I didn't provoke her, so we didn't fight. That went for Satoko, too. Satoko, who I thought I knew, had been like this until now. Our relationship was changing, little by little. That's what it felt like. But it wasn't something I had to worry about. It was like our relationship had become a little bit happier, a little more charming. And I'm worried something is going to drive a really nasty wedge between that. I wonder why we changed like this. Was she lonely? And projecting her older brother Satoshi, who hadn't returned home, onto me? That might be one reason. Rika-chan told me about that yesterday. That was probably exactly it. So, as my actions drew closer to Satoshi's, Satoko was returning to how she'd been when she was living happily with her brother. In other words, this Satoko was the real Satoko. Satoko had been able to see her brother again, and had finally gone back to normal. Now that I'd been playing the role of her brother, I discovered that she really could smile so sweetly. But I wasn't Satoshi Hojo. I was Keiichi Maebara, a totally different person. I couldn't become her brother. I could come close, but I could never really get there. That was vaguely, somehow, a little sad. I was wearing Satoshi's mantle, and that would have to come off one day. And that would doubtlessly put an end to this meager, nostalgic, peaceful time of Satoko's. A limited tranquility. A tranquility that would end one day. Putting it in those terms, it really was sad. I shook my head firmly and drove off those pointless thoughts.
どうしましたの、ケイチさん?
What's the matter, Keiichi-san?
ごめん、なんでもないよ。
Sorry, it's nothing.
なんでもないならそんな変なことしないでくださいませね。
If it's nothing, then please don't act all strange like that.
何か悪いものでも食べたんじゃないかと不安になってしまいますわ。
It makes me worried that you might have eaten something rotten.
へいへい、ごめんよ、サトコ。
Right, right. Sorry, Satoko. Nagging like always, but she still seemed really happy. That mood of hers drew me in, putting a smile on my own face. Hey, Keiichi Maebara. Why don't we quit thinking about this having to end one day? If it will, then just think about when that happens. There was one thing, however, that I could say for sure. As long as I smiled like this, Satoko's own smile would never wane. So as long as I stay this way, this tranquility would never end. Yeah, I sincerely doubt that. Satoshi would come back one day too. That might happen a lot further away than I'd like, but until that day, what's wrong with me being a replacement for him? Saying that I'm not her real brother, so I can't become Satoshi. That was just an excuse. If I just didn't run away, Satoko would stay happy and live a fun life of annoyed nitpicking. I don't know what happened to Satoshi, or what made him abandon Satoko and run away. But just seeing Satoko in such a good mood made me think I could persevere as long as I needed to. So this is what I thought. I wouldn't become Satoshi. I would become a replacement brother.
そうそう。俺はこういう野菜炒めを期待してたんだよ。
This is it. This is the kind of stir-fry I was waiting for.
うまい。
It's great.
実にうまい。
It's absolutely great.
この塩コショウ味のお汁がいいんだよな。
The salt and pepper in the broth. Man!
実にご飯が進む。
I could eat an entire pot of this.
ほらほら、ケイチさん。
Stop that, Keiichi-san.
こぼしてますわよ。
You're spilling food everywhere.
そんなに焦って食べなくてもご飯は逃げませんのよ。
The food isn't going to run away. You don't need to eat it so fast.
いや、逃げるぞ。
No, it will run away!
出来たてほやほやの最高の味は、できた瞬間からどんどん逃げていくんだ。
The best and freshest flavors are running away from the moment the meal is completed.
サトコが100美味しく作ったものなら、
Guess it's one way to look at it.
丸々味わう義務がある。
If you were to make 100 delicious things, then I would have a duty to taste every one of them.
それがクーガーのマナーってもんだ。
It's just good manners to do so.
それはお気持ちだけで十分ですわ。
Your feelings are more than enough.
ですからもっと落ち着いてご飯をお食べなさいませ。
So calm down and enjoy your food.
そうだな。悪い悪い。
You're right. I'm sorry. No insults here. I meekly scratched my head, then put down my chopsticks and laughed along with her like it was funny. I ended up doing most of the eating. Satoko was barely taking a bite. She seemed satisfied just by watching me enjoy the food so much. Whenever I filled my mouth with more of her delicious meal, Satoko looked glad. That let me enjoy the food even more. In this way, she kept smiling happily the whole time. Looking at her made me really happy as well. The time passed, softly and gently. Before, we would have gone back and forth hurling insults with Satoko. In other words, we would have gone into a fight right away. I never known I could feel such a peace of mind by talking to her honestly like this. I was a little bit happy about having discovered this new side of Satoko. For example, I was eating food that Satoko had made. There wasn't an inch in me that thought it was suspicious. Before, however, Satoko would have definitely put some sort of trap into this. I think I ate too much. I'm gonna take a dump. Hey, Keiichi-san. It's bad manners to say such words during a meal. Then what should I say? Nothing! I'm going to the bathroom? The toilet? The lavatory? Satoko looked down, her face bright red, and pointed down the hallway as if to say, just go already! Whoops, my old habits seem to have come back. But, yeah, this wasn't all that bad either. No weird schemes, everything is just natural. And while having such utterly unguarded thoughts, I went into the bathroom. Tug. My foot caught on something string-like. Huh? Whoa? Did she set a trap after all? A kettle? A wash tub? She got me. I can't believe her. She always does this when I let my guard down. Can't relax for a minute around her. Still, it was kind of funny. I didn't really feel like getting angry. Satoko, laughing uproariously, came over. See? See? I knew you would fall for it sooner or later. Oh, you little. I let my guard down for 1 second. And this is what I get! I picked up the wash tubs that had crashed into my head and went to go hit Satoko with it. But then I doubled over with the laughter that had been welling up within me, so I couldn't manage it. Wish things could go on forever like this. It's not like I was having the most fun since coming to Hinamizawa or anything. But it was probably the first time that I'd spent my day so simply and comfortably. It really wasn't worth much. It was only a few hours after all. As an only child, it was my first taste of having a sibling. Just washing dishes with her felt really nice. Side by side, we washed, with the experienced Satoko doing most of the work as I threw in appropriate words to add to the conversation. The scene was so commonplace, and yet so mild and warm. Maybe I had felt this kind of warmth before too, in the past. I think I've stood next to the sink with my mother like this when I was little. It made me feel nostalgic when I remembered it. It It was the same sort of slow, easy time. It was tranquil. Such a quiet tranquility that the fact I wasn't uneasy about anything itself almost made me uneasy. Hey, wait, Keiichi Maebara. You feel uneasy about something just from spending time so leisurely? There's nothing at all to feel uneasy about. I disagree. I think there's plenty to feel uneasy about. Like, who killed the lady whose corpse was discovered at the beginning? And what does that mean for this chapter? I mean, why would I be punished for enjoying a gentle life? I'd do anything to keep these days going. I would never do anything bad, no matter what. Yeah, well, chapters 1 and 2 didn't really work out that way, now did it? I'd work hard on it, for it, and endure much for it. So, God. It's not much of a dream to want this kind of thing to keep on going. But can't you grant it? Oh?
あれは電話の音ではありませんの?
Is that not the telephone?
こんな夜更けに誰でございましょう?
Who could it be at this hour? Maybe it's Rika calling to find out where the hell you are.
Ah, 本当だ.
Oh, you're right. I hadn't noticed until she mentioned it. I hurried to stand up, then ran to the phone. Who could it be at a time like this? I did feel a little like the phone had interrupted my happy moment. But I still wanted to brag about how happy the time I was spending made me, no matter who it was on the other side.
もしもし。
Hello?
はい、前原です。
This is Maebara speaking.
もしもし?
Hello? Hello, mother?
ケイチ?
Keiichi?
お母さんだけど.
It's your mother.
あ、なんだ、母さんか。
Oh, hello, Mom.
何?
What is it?
こんな時間に。
It's pretty late. I was a little cold of me when she was only calling because she was worried about her son. I couldn't help but give myself a dry smile.
その様子だと特にトラブルもなく生活できてるみたいね。
It sounds like you're doing just fine for yourself.
母さん、ケイチがご飯を作れなくてひもじくて寝込んでるんじゃないかと心配してたわ。
I was worried that you couldn't make dinner and went to bed hungry.
まあね。
Nah,
なんとかおかげで。
it worked out.
ご飯はちゃんと作れてる?
Did you make dinner properly?
今夜は何を食べたの?
What did you have tonight?
へへ、野菜炒めとご飯と味噌汁だよ。スーパーでいろいろとお惣菜を買ったから、何気におかずも豊富でさ。
It was vegetable stir fry, rice and miso soup. Bought stuff for it at the supermarket, plus a whole bunch of side dishes just for fun.
そうそう、聞いてよ。
Oh yeah, listen to this.
豚肉なんかちゃんとタイムサービスを利用して半額で買ったんだぜ。
I got the pork during the sale and got half off.
主婦の知恵っていうのかな。
The things a housewife knows, right?
それから。
And also, all that was thanks to Satoko, and not something I should be proud about. But still, I couldn't help but want to boast about the dinner tonight. Seems like Mom got the hint that I was in a really good mood.
そう。
I see.
しっかりやれていて、母さん本当に安心したわ。
I'm so relieved that you're doing just fine.
そうそう、それでね。
Oh yes, another thing.
お父さんとお母さんの仕事がなんとか終わったの。
Your dad and I are finished up with our job.
明日の昼か夜には帰れると思うから。
We think we'll be back tomorrow afternoon or evening.
ああ、そうなんだ。
Oh, I see.
二晩、よく頑張ったわね。
You did well for 2 nights.
こっちも二晩ほとんど徹夜でね。
We've been pulling all-nighters too.
大変だったけど、なんとか先生のイベントは穴を開けずに済みそうよ。
It was a lot of work, but we managed to fill the gap in your dad's mentor's event.
うん。
Cool.
よかったね。
That's good.
お疲れ。
Well done. Why do my parents coming home seem so disappointing? I knew a little bit of the reason, of course. This tranquility I never wanted to end was about to end so readily. It was a little painful. Well, not necessarily. I mean, you can still have Satoko come over. Or maybe you can go over to Satoko's. After being asked what kind of souvenir I wanted from Tokyo, and replying that anything edible would be great, I put down the receiver, and Satoko appeared, having finished cleaning up her trap. At first, Satoko was in a very good mood, but when she saw me put down the receiver with an uncertain expression, her own clouded over a bit. It seems like she'd gotten the gist of what my phone conversation had been about.
Keiichi-sanのご両親からですの?
Was that your parents, Keiichi-san?
ああ、
Yeah.
明日には帰ってくるってさ。
Mom says they'll be back tomorrow.
あら、それは良かったですわね。
Oh, that's good then.
明日のお夕食の面倒はもう見なくていいわけでございますものね。
I won't have to go to the trouble of making you dinner tomorrow.
家族で水入らずの食卓を囲みなさいませ。
Now you can enjoy your meals with just your family.
そんなことないよ。
No, that's not it.
また明日からまた無味乾燥な食卓かと思うと、なんだか寂しいよ。
When I think about the dull, plain dinner table coming back tomorrow, it's a little lonely.
何を贅沢言ってますの。
You sure do live in luxury.
家族みんなで囲む食卓が一番楽しいに決まってますわ。
A family sitting around the dinner table is the most fun way to enjoy a meal of all. Her brother, Satoshi, running away from home came to mind immediately. But there was no gloom in the way she said it.
私も昨日今日と2日間でしたけど、とても楽しいお夕食を取らせていただきましたわ。
It was only for 2 days, but they were very enjoyable dinners.
ならさ、
Well then,
今度は俺からサトコの家に遊びに行くよ。
next time I'll go to your house to visit. There you go. Huh? Satoko momentarily made a happy smile, but then a second later, it changed to an expression of surprise.
うちは狭くて汚いですわよ。
My house is small, and it's dirty.
お台所もこんなに立派ではありませんし。
And the kitchen isn't as good as this one.
俺は別に気にしないぜ。
Well, I don't mind.
でも、ま、サトコが嫌なら遠慮してもいいよ。
But, well, if you don't want to, then I won't. Satoko shook her head firmly, her whole body expressing denial.
それに俺、サトコにはまだまだ色々と教えてもらわないとな。
I gotta get you to teach me a whole bunch more stuff, too.
ようやく炊飯器の使い方と味噌汁の作り方を覚えた程度だし。
Finally managed to figure out how to use the rice cooker and how to cook miso soup after all.
それもそうですわね。
That's right, isn't it?
これを機会にケイチさんにお料理をお勉強してもらうのもいいかもしれませんわね。
Perhaps we should use this opportunity to have you learn more about cooking. It was so like Satoko to take this chance to proclaim it was all for my sake. But there was no way to conceal her own enthusiasm. It's true that this gentle time would come to an end when my parents got back. There was no need to lament that, though. I can easily put in the effort to continue our mild moments like this. Like yesterday, Satoko told me she didn't need to be escorted home. But Rika-chan wasn't with her tonight. She would be going home by herself. Everyone knew everyone else's face here in Hinamizawa. So it wasn't like it was dangerous to go out at night. But it still wasn't good to send a girl on her way all alone. At the very least, that's what I thought as Satoko's older brother.
じゃあ学校の近くまで送ってやるよ。
I'll take you as far as the school at least.
あそこまで行けば結構街灯とかあるから大丈夫だろ。
There's more lights over in that direction anyway.
本当に大丈夫なんですのよ。
It's really fine, alright?
悪い人が現れても指一本で撃退してみせますわ。
If someone bad shows up, I will take them down with one finger. Poke him in the eye. There was no point in pressing her any more on the subject, so I took a handful of Satoko's hair and rubbed her head vigorously.
サトコ、ごちゃごちゃ言うな。
Come on, Satoko, don't complain so much. Your Nini will bring you part of the way there. That's what I was about to say when I suddenly got embarrassed and my voice trailed off. Yeah, don't make it weird now. Nini could only be the nickname Satoko gave to her older brother, and nothing else. I was about to use it pretty lightly, so I started to feel apologetic and a little ashamed.
Nini?
Well, she used it, so I guess that means it's okay. Huh? What did Satoko just say? Well...
ケイチさんが兄みたいに見えただけですわ。
Keiichi-san just seems like an older brother.
今の言い方全然違うけど、どこか雰囲気が似てましたもので。
That is what I said. It's not quite right, but you seem kind of alike, so I just... Satoko laughed awkwardly and turned red in the face. Of course, I was embarrassed when I saw her too, because the fact I was trying to act like her brother had gotten across. A warm feeling spread out from my chest. It was completely different from romantic feelings or any of those more impatient emotions. It was much more graceful, quiet and warm, and calm. Satoko still needed her Nini. I'd initially thought Rika-chan was being sly by not coming today. But when I thought about it like this, I could feel a kind of thoughtfulness of her worrying about a good friend's feelings. Maybe Rika-chan had understood that she couldn't play the part of a brother herself. Excuse me. So then... No, let's stop there, Keiichi Maebara. There's no point in thinking about it so hard. It means everyone feels the same way. It means everyone wants Satoko to be happy. Given her crappy upbringing, she kind of deserves it. Satoko is acting as though her Nini running away from home didn't bother her at all, even though that wasn't actually the case. She was very sad, and always waiting for him to come home. Because Satoko was a stable person when she was his sister. In order for her to really be this level-headed, having a brother was something she couldn't do without. In other words, Satoko still needed a brother. Nobody had the right to smile it away as childish immaturity. In fact, they deserved praise for being so close to each other as siblings. That role of brother should be played by her real Nini, by Satoshi. But unfortunately, he wasn't here. So since I'm here, I'll play the part. And not with a guilty conscience, but in a very natural way. Because... was there something wrong with seeing Satoko smile so happily? No, but you gotta be mindful about how you go about it. Because if you're not careful, things could end badly. What is it, Keiichi-san? You've been smirking for quite a while now. Is it weird for me to look happy? It isn't weird or anything, but... well... the sound of the motor on her bike light was too loud and I couldn't hear what Satoko said. Huh? What? What did you say? Nothing.
本当にどこまでもニーニーに似てますのね。
You really are just like Nini, you know.
ケイチさん。
Keiichi-san.
そっか？
Is that right?
もちろん本当のニーニーとは全然違うんですけども、
Of course, you're completely different from my real Nini.
こういろいろ。
But, like, there's things that he and Keiichi have in common, you mean?
そういうところが似てますの。
Things that you do the same.
本当に不思議ですわね。
It's really a mystery.
似ているとニーニーを思い出して寂しくなるか？
The same. Do you feel lonely when you remember Nini? Once I said that, I thought for a moment that it was absolutely the wrong thing to say, but Satoko didn't seem to mind one bit.
別に寂しくなんかありませんわ。
It's not that I'm lonely.
こうしてケイチさんがニーニーの代わりになってくれますしね。
Since Keiichi-san is being my Nini for me right now.
その
Well, As I was flustered for a moment at her hitting the mark, Satoko suddenly asked me a question in a calm voice. It was very quiet, composed. An adult question.
リカですの？
Was it Rika? It was quiet, but her voice sounded lonely somehow.
リカがニーニーの代わりになってくれって。
Didn't Rika ask you
ケイチさんにお願いしたんじゃありませんの？
to act like my Nini for me?
そう思うのか？
Is that what you think?
気を悪くしないでくださいませね。
Please don't take offense.
リカって私には変に気を使うんですの。
Rika is strangely considerate of me,
私はそんなに気にしていないのに。
but it really doesn't bother me that much. I could say for sure that, at least, was a lie. Yesterday and today, Satoko had been so happy spending time like this with me as siblings. And now it's proof itself that she was lying about not getting to her. So I gave Satoko a light poke in the head.
考えすぎだよ、バカ。
You're thinking too much, dummy.
俺は俺、前原圭一だ。
I'm Keiichi Maebara.
お前のニーニーの北条聡じゃない。
I'm not your Nini. Not Satoshi Hoju.
そんなのは分かってますわ。
I know that. Despite her saying that, her expression seemed a little lonesome. At this point, Satoko herself had realized that her question had been the wrong thing to say. We didn't need to keep talking about something that Satoko regretted. So in order to cut the conversation short, I grabbed Satoko's head and pet her.
そんなくだらない話はもういいだろ
Let's not talk about silly things like that.
う。もう遅いから、とっとと帰って歯を磨いて寝ろ。
It's getting late, so get back home, brush your teeth, and go to bed.
ついでだから寝る前にうがいもしとけ。
And rinse your mouth before sleeping too.
風邪の予防になっていいぞ。
It'll keep you from getting a cold.
それを言ったらニーニーもですわよ。
You're one to talk, Nini.
ちゃんと歯を磨くんですのよ。
Be sure to brush your teeth, okay?
うがいもしてお手洗いも済ませて明日の教科書を準備して、それから。
Rinse your mouth and wash your hands, then get your books ready for tomorrow. Yes, ma'am. And... I wonder what kind of siblings Satoko and Satoshi were. I've never seen them together, but I could say without a doubt that they were really close. As for the way in which they were close, it was probably quite like this. It was so cool that the day's heat seemed like a lie, and yet the moonlight was somehow faintly warm. The quiet chorus of the insects was pleasing to the ears. New tips unlocked. Satoko's trap course, intermediate. Oh boy, more trap course shenanigans. Well, this was another entertaining episode. I even got to see Keiichi suffer another punishment game. Even though I still feel that the actual punishment itself was a bit of a letdown in execution. But these two are bonding really quick, I gotta say. Keiichi and Satoko, I mean. I can't help but be concerned. Like, the last two chapters and how they played out have me convinced that things are not going to end well for sure here, but I'm just worried. I'm just more so wondering how exactly is it all going to come crumbling down. Will it be something that occurs as a result of Keiichi trying to get closer to Satoko too quickly or something, or the reverse? Like, I have a feeling that the bond that these two are forming is going to play some kind of crucial part in what's going to probably end up going down later on this chapter. But I can't quite predict what that could be exactly, and where things could lead. It's not that I want it to happen, far from it, but that just seems to me like, based on how everything is being set up right now, that it's going to happen. Something like that is going to happen at some point. Well, I suppose there's nothing I can do about it for now, but just keep proceeding along and seeing what happens. But I think I'll save that for next time, and I'll just end the episode here. We can check out the tip I unlocked, and then start the next part of Chapter 3 in the next episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this latest episode of Higurashi When They Cry Chapter 3. If you did and you want to see more content from me, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you all next time. Take care.